Hello, this is Mrs. McDonald. We are going to do class this way today. I have a prior commitment that I need to take care of. He's called my 3-year-old grandson that his mom and dad are out of town, so he'll be with me tonight. So this would be impossible with him in the room. So I'm going to record this now, and then I will make it available for you earlier than Tuesday so that you could do it whenever you have time to do it. The packet and this video recording I will send through Remind, but I will also have it on our Google Classroom. If you're not comfortable or haven't learned how to use our Google Classroom, stay afterwards and I will show you how to do that as well. Most of you are signed up for this ACT that's coming up on July 16th. So we are going to continue working on the reading section of this particular test. The test that you're working on now is, I'll give you the page numbers. I think it's my printer. It doesn't tell me as well which page, but in your, let's see, if you have the big book, it's page pardon me, 632, page 632 in the big red ACT book. If you do not have that, then you will just print the PDF or work with it on the computer if you need to. I like it better when you can print it because that's just like the test. I'm just going to work the first one and give you the other 3 to work on your own. The last page will have the answer choices. So remember, on the ACT, timing is the big deal here. We want to make sure you have enough time to finish each of the passages, but you really, honestly, are not going to have enough time to work all 4 for the most part. So what I say is to work 3 passages in 10 minutes each. So that would take you about 30 minutes. You have 35 minutes. So in that last 5 minutes, you're going to work that 4th passage and in a different way, smartly guessing. The first thing you're going to do is kind of notice whenever they say you have 5 minutes left, you're going to look whatever question, whatever answer choice you use today, the most often. Sometimes it's C, but not always. So look and see, what do you have the most of today? And then you're just going to literally bubble in all the way to the end. Let's say you weren't quite finished with that 3rd one, just bubble in everything you have. If it was whatever letter it was, just bubble all the way to the end so that no matter what, when they call time, put your pencil down, you at least have an answer. Then what you're going to do is go back and look at the ones I call the inline questions. Like if we just peruse real quickly, this says in line 24, what do the words the thing refer to? Well, I can go read line 24 and hopefully get an answer there. All right, another one. Let's see, I don't see a quicker one. Oh yeah, well, yeah. Which of the following questions is specifically answered in passage A? Oh, this is an A and B one. I'm glad we're going to do this one. I haven't actually looked at it yet. But those are the ones you're going to see if you can find them the easiest. Any of them that you can do quickly, that's the ones you want to do. And then if you've exhausted those, then maybe go try another one. Like says, which of the following elements is most clearly similar in 2 passages? Well, I might be able to go do those. So I want to make sure that I'm spending my time right. So then I would go back. Let's say I would change a couple, right? Oh, that was, I would erase that and I would put this one here and I would change that one. I'd make it here. This one I might put way over here so that you can get hopefully enough right to pass the test. That's all that really matters. If you spend about 10 minutes on each passage, you should get close to enough. And this smartly guessing in that last one, hopefully you pick up 3, 4, could be 5 to get them correct. And then you would hopefully pass. For the most part, each of you will only need to get about 50% to be able to pass. Some of you need a 19, some of you need a 15. So we have different theories in here. If you need a 15, 50% is going to be fine for you. If you need a 19, I want you to try to go a little higher. Obviously, I want you shooting for like 6 or 7 per on each of the 3 passages. So then if you get 4 on the other one, the last one, you'll be good to go. So let's just start working this one. All right, we notice it says it's a literary narrative. The first one is always going to be a literary narrative. They always fall in order. The last one is always going to be science. And in between, you have the other 2. You'll see them when you go through there, but just know the first one is always literary narrative, an interesting story. Now, what is not normal is that they have given us a passage A and a passage B on a literary narrative. Honestly, I don't remember seeing that before. So keep that in mind. All right, so I'm not even going to read about B. I'm going to focus only on A. You're definitely seeing more of these more recently than we have in the past. So let's concentrate just on passage A. Passage A is adapted from a short story, Leaving Memphis. I'm underlining anything that matters to me, names, date, places. All right, by Lauren Burdell. I don't know, or Burden. I'm not sure how to say that name. It doesn't matter that day, remember? And it was copyrighted in 2008. We assume it's written sometime around then unless they tell us something different. All right, I'm not even going to read the other one. I noticed this says passage A, this says passage B. So this is what I'm going to be reading, passage A to start with. I still say do exactly the same thing. Read the first paragraph-ish and see what you can get so you can understand lay of the land. You see her first in Memphis, in the Memphis bus station on a 2-hour layover. You pretend you haven't because she looks ready to talk. Stonewashed jeans, you think, watching her tap her platform sandals at the front of the boarding line. When she reaches you, staring, you pull your lips tight and stare at the floor in front of her. She starts towards you anyway. She plops down in the hard plastic seat next to you, moving her purse to her lap. You motion to open your novel and shrug as if to say, can't stop now. But she says, where are you from? And now you can't shake her. Okay, so somebody's, we assume, in a bus station and they want to be left alone, but they see somebody either that they already recognize or for some reason this person just looks like somebody that's going to talk, right? Okay, I've got lay of the land. That's enough for me. When you get to the questions that are about these A and B ones, usually the first 3 to 4 questions are about A. The next 3 to 4 questions are about B. And the last 2 to 3 questions are about comparing and contrasting both stories. So let's just go start with our questions. Remember, we're not reading the whole passage. We don't have time to. We are going to read with a purpose. All right, number 1 says, which of the following questions is specifically answered in passage A? Okay, so which question is answered? Why something, what, or where? I haven't read enough yet to know that, so I'm going to move on. As they are referred to in line 24, what do the words the thing refer to? Well, I don't think I read as far as 24, but it's telling me there's an answer in 24. All right, it says down here. Bear with me, I'm trying to lose my voice. All right, is in line 24. It says, I'm just going to underline it, the thing. All right, because I haven't read a whole lot yet, why don't I just go ahead and read that paragraph, right? I may even read the one in between. It's not that long. You're not a bad person. You just wish Greyhound assigned seating. It's not that the straw blonde hair, oh, I remember seeing something about blonde in those questions, didn't I? The straw blonde hair tensed up around her face, not even the sad, neglected teeth that made you want to turn off the headlamp, the overhead reading lamp, and smile at her in the dark. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're the same person, she says. And you say, that's funny because you know you've been inventing yourself this whole time. She smiles and she waits for you to agree how similar the two of you are. Okay, so our author, I would hopefully think whoever we hear is talking, probably is a girl, right? Hey, we're twins, we're alike. She tells you about the man she's taking the bus to see. Left for a construction job in Palm Beach. Says my eyes are as blue as the Atlantic Ocean and he can't bear to look at the thing but one more time if I'm not here with him. Can't bear to look at the thing. I still don't know what it is. You can't trust a man with a gun or a heart, but he swears he loves me. But she waits for you to tell her of a better love. You can't think of a story to compare. I am not sure what we're talking about. He can't bear to look at the thing one more time. Okay, so let's go back to our questions. He can't bear to look at the construction job. Probably that's not it. Every time he looks at a construction job, does it remind him of the girl? Probably not. Remember, I'm a fan of elimination, right? We know that one doesn't work. He can't bear to look at the woman's eyes. No, he says they're as beautiful as the ocean. So he would love to look at her eyes. When I look at these, this is where I was going, because now I'm seeing, I bet he's comparing, he can't bear to look at the thing one more time if I'm not there with him. The what? The Atlantic Ocean. So we've got our number 2 answer. And we put our big old check. Our big old check is going to help keep us straight. We are not going to bubble that in until we have all 10 answers for this story. So now we know we answered that one because we missed the one before. Now, normally the ACT comes in order. So I might go back and try to answer this one now. But then I look down here and it says in line 35, and that's not too far. So that's kind of up to you. I think I probably am going to go back up and see. Remember, what question did we get answered? Why is the character referring to you leaving Memphis? So why is the person referred to as you? Okay, you is the person that we have, that's our narrator, the person that's talking. Do we know why they are leaving? That me is leaving? No, we don't know that. Why is the blonde woman leaving? Yeah, we know why she's leaving. She's going to go meet this guy. All right, that could be an answer. Why is the blonde woman thinking about what is the blonde woman thinking about at the end of the passage? Well, we may or may not know that. I'm going to leave that alone. Where is the blonde woman originally from? What's the only one that we know for sure now? She's leaving Palm Beach to go meet that guy. So I'm going to move on. Not going to spend time looking for the other one. That one is definitely true. So I can move on. Now I've got 2 answers. So then I look at number 3. As it is used in line 35, the phrase every occasional home most nearly suggests that on a bus trip, the main characters of passage A are passing through an area in which porches of some homes glow. Most homes do not have a porch light on, particularly large and bright, something about fireflies. Few homes were built and they're situated far apart. Okay, so I'm about ready to go do that. And I definitely look down to see that this next paragraph is not where I'm supposed to read, but I'm going to read it because I'm learning. My line is in 35, which is right here. Every occasional home you pass. So let's read on. She says, we're the same person. She's waiting for you to tell her yes. And you both have had the same heartache, and you know the scars and love and love the same. But you're thinking at the window, again, as a radio tower passes and reminds you of the Eiffel Tower. Firefly porch lights are perched, fat and throbbing outside every occasional home. Okay, said something about firefly, didn't it? Let's go to that one. Some porches of some homes intermittently glow from the light of fireflies. Are they talking about fireflies themselves or firefly porch lights? They are not talking about fireflies themselves. So I'm going to get rid of C. Well, yes, C as well. I didn't read that one yet, but C comes out. The porch lights of some homes glow from the fireflies. It's not A or C. I know that. All right. Most homes do not have a porch light on. It said porch lights are perched, fat and throbbing outside every occasional home you pass. That means every home you pass has one. You just don't pass a lot. All right. So I don't think I like B, but let's read D. Few homes are built, but they're situated far apart. Isn't that what I just said? And I promise, guys, I haven't worked this one before. So, or not in a while. If I have, I don't remember it right now. All right. So our answer choice is going to be D. I figured that out when I thought through what I read, right? All right, now it says throughout passage B, remember we haven't even looked at B yet. And I please apologize, when I'm making these marks, I'm having to look at the screen and I know my marks aren't exactly the correct place. But bear with me, please. All right, so what that tells me is now I need to go read about B. We don't know anything about B yet. So I'll go back to the beginning. Passage B is adapted from the short story Mandarins by a name I cannot pronounce and I don't stress over, in 2006. So both of those are fairly current. All right. That didn't help us a whole lot except to tell us what story it came from. All right. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm going to probably read my first paragraph. It's not really long. Hopefully it gives me something to tell me, enough about what's going on. Evening was falling one cloud-covered winter's day as I boarded a Tokyo-bound train departing from this place. I found a seat in the corner, sat down, leaned my head back against the window frame, half consciously watching for the station to recede slowly into the distance. But then I heard, coming from the ticket gate, the chattering of dry weather clogs, followed immediately by a cursing conductor. The door of the second class carriage was flung open and a 13 or 14-year-old girl came bursting in. Okay, so they're both traveling. We don't know if this is a guy or a girl because I don't know if that's a male or female name, right? All right, let's go to our questions because it already told us. Now we're working on B. The girl's reaction to the narrator is, now we don't know the girl's reaction yet. We haven't read enough. All right, so either I want to go read more now or I want to go to the next one. Let's go to the next one for a minute and see what we need to find out there too. The narrator of passage B hopes that the girl will fail at opening the window based on passage B as a whole. This hope most strongly captures the girl's helplessness, the narrator's foul mood, the three young boys' pleasure, or the train conductor's impatient. Well, he probably is already impatient, right? Because he was cussing. I think we have a problem with our screen. Give me a second. Let me reset it. Looks like it froze. Okay, looks like it's back. All right, so definitely, I can't answer that one, but I'm going to go back up and look at this one again. What is the girl's reaction? To pay no attention, engage him, view him, or express surprise to discover that she's not alone. Okay, so our narrator must be a man, but we don't know enough. We just know this 13 or 14-year-old girl busts in. Let me try to make this bigger for us. There we go. All right, so I'm going to just continue reading because it didn't tell me where to read yet. So I'm just going to read the next thing. At that moment, with a shudder, the train began to lumber slowly forward. I raised my eyes to look for the first time at the girl seated now on the opposite side. She wore lustrous hair drawn up into a bun in the traditional shape of a ginkgo leaf. Apparently from the constant rubbing of her nose and mouth with the back of her hand, her cheeks were chapped and red. A grimy wooden scarf of yellow green hung loosely down to her knees, on which she held a large bundle wrapped in a cloth. To blot her existence, I took my newspaper and began to read. So what was his reaction to her? Isn't that our first question? No, it's what is the girl's reaction? Okay, that's his reaction. So we're going to continue to read. Be careful that we make sure we know who we're talking about. All right, I've marked the next one. Remember, everywhere you read, you want to mark. The girl feverishly endeavored to open the window, the glass apparently proving to be too heavy for her. Gazing coldly at her desperate struggle as she fought with chilled hands, I hoped that she would fail. That's part of our question, right? At that very moment, the window at last came down with a thud. I would surely have barked at this unknown girl who to reclose the window if it had not been for the outside view, which now was growing ever brighter, and for the smell born of the cold air of earth, dry grass, and water. Okay, it was something about her and the window. The narrator hopes that the girl will fail at opening the window. Based on this as a whole, this hope, why would he want her to do that? Because, or what would we think? Let's see. Based on passage B as a whole, this hope most strongly captures the girl's hopelessness, the narrator's typical foul mood. Does he seem like he's in a foul mood? Maybe. Three young boys, we don't know, three young boys, and we don't know the train can, all right, could be this or this. The train conductor's impatience with the girl's behavior. Could be that one. I'm not confident enough because it does say as a whole, the passage as a whole, right? So I'm not ready to answer that, but I do think I like either B or D. So let's move on to number 6. It can most reasonably be inferred from passage B that the girl frantically tries to open the window because she needs to throw oranges, prove to herself something that she could open the window, all right, create a space between herself and the narrator. Does this create a space between herself and the narrator? No, it does not. If you open the window, it does not create a space between two people. All right, freshen the stagnant air in the train with a cool breeze. Her hands are cold. Does she want to get more cold? No, that one does not make sense to me. All right, so it's really short. In fact, we've only got a couple more paragraphs. So why don't we just read? We know she opened it. We don't know what she did when she opened, and what she did after she opened it. Just then I saw, standing between the barrier of the desolate crossing, 3 red-cheeked boys looking up at the train as it passed. She raised her hands as at one and let out with all her strength of their 3 voices in a high-pitched cheer. In that instant, the girl, full on her upper half body, leaning out of the window, abruptly extended her hands and began moving them briskly left and right. 5 or 6 mandarin oranges, radiating the color of warm sun, and filled my heart with sudden joy, descended on the children standing there to greet the passing train. All right, she had oranges, mandarin oranges, and she threw them. It's the answer to one of our questions. Why did she need to get the window open? To be able to throw oranges to her brothers. I don't know if they're her brothers yet. Maybe I'm going to keep reading. I definitely noticed there's very little left. I knew immediately the meaning of it all. This girl, perhaps leaving home now into service as a maid, had been carrying her bundle of these oranges and tossed them to her younger brothers as a token of gratitude for them coming to see her off. So was it to give her the oranges to the brothers? Yes, it was. So number 6 is definitely F. All right, in passage B, which of the following pairs of actions most clearly clues the narrator that someone is about to board the train at the last minute? Okay, remember the guy was cussing. Whoop, there it is. The cussing, the bursting open of the second class carriage door could have been. What do you hear first? We may have to go back and look. The chattering of clogs, ooh, or the shouting of the young girl. All right, so this is fairly short. We should be able to do that. At that moment, with a shudder, the train began to lumber forward. That's not really one of our answer choices, is it? No. All right, I raised my eyes to look at the first time of the girl seated. Wait a minute, that might not be it. We may have to go forward. I found a seat to the back, but then I heard coming from the ticket gate the clattering of dry weather clogs, followed immediately by the cussing of the conductor. So he heard the clogs first. The clattering of the clogs. And the cursing of the conductor. Yep. 7 was easy. We just had to go back and find it. No big deal. So let's look at number 8. Which of the following elements is most clearly similar in the 2 passages? Well, we already said 2 people riding transportation, right? Bus and a train. That's my first inkling. But let's see what they give us. The occasional use of the second point of view, the time period in which it was set, the inclusion of key bits of dialogue with characters, or the situational premise of the plot. Well, the plot is similar, and that's what I said was the same. So I'm going to go with that one. This one, I like A and B ones. I usually can find my answers fairly quick. All right, now it says, among the characters in both passages, which one is portrayed as being the most interested in having a conversation? Well, it's definitely not you. You doesn't want to talk at all. That's in the first passage. The 13 or 14-year-old girl. Oh, I know who it is. It's not that one. And it's not the man in the second passage. It's the woman, the blonde woman in the first passage. She wants to talk. Remember, she's asking all the questions. Ta-da! All right. Which of the following statements best describes how both you in passage A and the narrator in passage B, that's the man we think, react when they first see the blonde woman and the young girl respectively? All right. They consider the other character to be somewhat pitiful looking. I think both of them felt sorry for each of them, right? The first one definitely did, and the second one, once he realized what was going on, he did feel. So I can't take that one away. They are angry that the other characters has delayed their departure. Well, first off, did they delay the departure? No. So even if they were angry, that statement would not be true. They are surprised by the other character's reason for traveling. We don't know the reason for traveling in the second one. He's assuming that. but we don't know that for sure. Even if he was, he might not have been surprised. They believe the other character is inevitable because life seems so easy. Life does not seem easy for the second character for sure, and probably not the first character. So the only one that works is 10. We go back. The only one we didn't answer was this one. So now maybe we're a little better equipped to do that one. We already narrowed it down to B and D. Number 5. The narrator's typical foul mood and the dark state of mind. Yeah. The conductor's impatience with the girl. Now, let's go back and ask our question again, because both are true, or we think they might be true, right? Why else would he be cussing except she had bad behavior, right? The girl will fail at opening the window. Based on the passage as a whole, this most strongly captures the, it wouldn't be the train conductor because it didn't have anything to do with the girl. It has to have something to do with the girl's helplessness and her uncertain future. Do we know about her uncertain future? Ooh. It's B. Narrator's foul mood and the dates and the dark state of mind. He's in a pissy mood. We know that. This is aggravating him. We don't know about the girl's uncertain future. And it's not about the train conductor's impatience. They're trying to play you. They want you to think it's C as well, but that's not it. Number 5 is definitely, let me double check. Yeah, number 5 is definitely B. All right. Oh, we did have one more, didn't we? Through passage B, the girl's reaction to the narrator is, we don't ever hear that she says anything to him, do we? Did she engage him in conversation? We know that's not true. View him as an annoying intruder. I don't literally think she noticed him. Express surprise to discover she's not alone. We never heard that. I think the only one that it can be is she paid no attention to him. All she was worried about was giving those oranges to her little brothers. Ta-da! We have now finished our 10. Hopefully, with me doing teacher talk, that would last not quite that long. That should last about 10 minutes. And you should be ready to move on to the next one. Like I said, there are 3 more in this packet. I'd like you to work those on your own. I am going to stop sharing for just a moment. And I'm going to open us up to our Google Classroom. If you'll give me just a second, I don't have it open yet. Obviously, I do not have it yet recorded so that you can see it at this time, but you will be able to when I put it on here. So I'm just going to show, because there's some people who I sent the invitations to the Google Classroom, but that you maybe didn't know what to do with it yet. So I'm going to post this video as well as the answers in our Google Classroom. Now, I have several different Google Classrooms. You'll only have probably the one. That's this one. You just click on it. You can see prior things that we've done here. You're more than welcome to go do any of these that you feel like will help you. There are several that have the reading passage. A lot of this is going to have ACT and SAT, in there too. It's going to have also grammar in there. If you need to get that average of 18, which I think there's only one of you that does, but if you need to get that, you should be able to go back and use any of this that you want to use. I will tell you there are several. Here's an ACT reading that we did. If you don't see the answer key, just tell me, hey, miss, I did the reading packet on 3-1. Can you send me that answer key after you finish it? And I'll be glad to send it to you. If it's not in there, I have it somewhere else that I can just simply send it to you. Here's another reading one. packet that you can work. So any of these that you want to work on your own, please feel free to. If you continue to stay with this class with me after the July, we'll do other things in here that would probably help you. Here's some more stuff that has to do with the English part. Yes, big English on ACT and ACT, excuse me. Hold on, I think I am not sharing with you, am I? My bad. Let me go back to that. That's my bad. All right, so you'll click into the Chamberlain Adult ACT class. And then like this one says SAT, this one you have to read and see what they say. We just prepped for the SAT on June 4th. And then I did have a few of you that took it on June 11th. More of you are taking it on July 16th. So most of this in the very beginning part is going to be SAT, but if you scroll down, then you begin seeing ACT reading and their packets. Now, sorry, I didn't have it clicked that you could share, but feel free to use any of that information that you need to if you stay with me. And we end up doing the SAT. When you do SAT, that score is a combined score, and we need to do well on the English side, but for the ACT, you only have to take the reading part. For all of you that are taking it right now, this upcoming senior class, they will have to have both sides. But anybody who's in this class right now, you'll only have to do the reading. So you don't have to pay attention to the English part on the ACT. Now, when you take an SAT, that's when you're going to have to pay attention to the English, and you want to do well in that. That can make up for if you didn't quite get enough in the reading, you could pick it up on the English section. So those are things, it's all there for you. When you get to that point, if that's what you're ready to do, then you go in and go do subject word agreement. These are just little quick tests, like maybe you have 8 or 10 questions. Those are good to do. But for now, I would stick with, if you're taking the July 16th ACT, I would stick with this class only in the ACT reading. I'll put an announcement right here that will have this video, the answer key, and the packet. If you have any questions, please send them to me. On Remind is the easiest way for me to see those. And then also, if you did watch this video, if you will send me a message and say, hey, I did it, and then I want you to tell me how many you got correct out of whatever number you tried. You know, if you did the 30 that are left, I want to know how many you got right. You want to shoot for something like, I'd like to see you all at like a 22, 23. That would be wonderful. You could definitely pass with a lower number, but then we'll know where you are. So thank you for being patient with me and watching this video. I hope you get the practice you need. I did one with you. I want you to do the other 3 on your own. Have a good evening. Thank you.